Can hypnotherapy help with anxiety and stress? And if so, how? What's going on? Yeah. So let's tackle that, because anxiety and stress are big issues in today's world. So there is two aspects to this, and hypnotherapy luckily can help with both, in actual fact. The two that make sense to me, there are coping strategies, there are ways to deal in the moment with anxiety or with stress. Basically kind of anchoring strategies that can cause a pattern interrupt so that you become aware of what it is that you're doing and you do something differently. Then there is the more fundamental self-appraisal system, let's say. Your anchoring, your core, your self-beliefs, your sense of identity, your personal power, your strength, yeah? So that when a wind comes along and knocks you off course, you can go back to being who you are, because deep down there is a sense of powerful authenticity inside of you. There's a third way, which has just made me think about it, which is the whole concept of psychological illusion and what am I and what are my thoughts and where do they come from and all that kind of stuff, so that you understand thyself better. So that when the stress, the anxiety, the noise comes along, I'm not going to say you're not going to get affected, because most of these things, by the time we become aware of them, they've already kicked in. The automatic process is already there. Fight, flight, freeze is operating. But you can then, because you're stable inside of yourself, you have a way back to your core. Yeah. So they're the three ways. Yeah. You can create a whole series of anchoring strategies of pattern interrupts, which you can learn about in NLP, in actual fact, neuro-linguistic programming. So these are very, very effective but short-term tools, so that you can kind of feel as though you've got an ability, if you get knocked off course, to get back on track. Yeah, so it kind of boosts your feeling of self-control, let's say. But the far deeper, more profound way of dealing with stress and with anxiety is to understand what it is that you are and to be appreciative of that. So the way to do that is by really, really diving into your feelings. And hypnosis is the best way I've ever come across for dealing with your feelings, because the chattering part that thinks it knows everything, that tries to lay claim to everything, well, that bit's gone quiet. Yeah, so you can examine the rest of you. So hypnosis is a fantastic way of learning about yourself, of understanding what are your true strengths, your true vulnerabilities, your true honest appraisal of what you are and your place within all of this. Yeah, how you relate to yourself, how you relate to your fellow man, how you relate to the environment in which you live, how you score yourself, yeah, this judgmental kind of inner critic, how you relate to that, all of these sort of things, all of that you can have a fantastic understanding of yourself through hypnosis. So that's the predominant way. And then, yeah, there's this other side, which is this whole kind of psychological illusion. I'm not my thought. I'm having a thought about being anxious, or I'm having a thought about stress. I'm having a response which is creating an environment of stress. And is that valid? Where is that coming from? And all that kind of seeing behind the veil of yourself approach. Also very, very productive. The end result of all of this, though, is that you kind of let go of your sense of what it is to justify, your sense of a need to label, and instead to observe, to become more curious about what you are, and to realize that we're organisms, not mechanisms, that everything doesn't have to be a justifiable cause-effect, that we can have conflicting opinions simultaneously, that our feelings are multifaceted, and so on and so forth. Yeah, the end result of it all is that you kind of trust that you are what you are. You let go of the need to be in control, the let go of the need to prove yourself, and so you can be. And when you can just be, well, then the whole idea of anxiety and stress takes on a completely different facet. Yeah, you've lifted the veil on what you thought was important, and you've recreated something which is more fundamental. That doesn't mean to say that that is the entirety, that is entirely accurate. You've replaced one not very useful story with a slightly more useful story, but there are probably better stories that you can create along the way. So this is a constant journey of learning and refreshing and reanalyzing and gifting to yourself. But with every step on the way, your sense of anxiety or stress reduces. If that makes sense, look me up. Yeah, say hello, ask a question. I thrive on questions. All right, thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.